Hey, welcome! Today we're going to decode the secret language of your home. We're going to talk about how to listen to what might just be the biggest, loudest, and most ignored part of it, your garage door. You know those creaks, those groans? They aren't just random noises, they're actually messages, and we're going to figure out exactly what they're trying to tell you.
So let's just get right to it. Is your garage door trying to tell you something? Because, it's kind of like the check engine light in your car. Your door has its own set of warning signs that are screaming when something's wrong. And trust me, ignoring them can lead to some really serious trouble.
Now, think about this for a second. Your garage door, it opens and closes well over 1,000 times every single year. That is a massive amount of work. All that lifting, all that lowering, it's going to cause some serious wear and tear on every single part. It's really not a question of if parts will wear out, it's just a matter of when.
All right, so what are the big red flags? Well, the source material points to 3 key warning signs that you can both see and hear. Let's break down exactly what you should be on the lookout for.
First up, and this is probably the most obvious one, is just plain old noise. Now look, a little bit of sound when it's operating, that's totally normal. But if your door suddenly sounds like it belongs in a horror movie, well, that's a problem. These are the sounds of a system that's under a lot of stress.
It usually starts with those high-pitched squeaks, right? That's a classic sign that you've got friction between metal parts, maybe the rollers or hinges, and they really need some attention.
And if you ignore those squeaks, it can get way worse. It can escalate into these loud, awful metallic grinds. That's literally the sound of parts wearing each other down. It's a much more serious issue.
And finally, you might hear these deep, really unsettling groans. And that's basically the whole system's cry for help. It's telling you that the opener motor is straining like crazy to lift a weight it just wasn't designed to handle anymore.
So what do all these noises actually mean? Well, as you can see here, they all kind of point back to one thing: friction. Now, this could be something simple, like worn-out rollers, or it could be a sign of a much bigger, more serious issue with the tension springs. Either way, that extra friction forces your opener motor to work way too hard, which can lead to it burning out completely. The bottom line here is that these sounds are an early warning that a small problem is about to become a much more expensive one.
Okay, the second major sign is one you really have to see to believe. Next time you open your door, do me a favor, stand back and just watch it. Really pay attention to how it moves. Is it one smooth, fluid motion, or do you see something that's just a little bit off?
And this shows the difference perfectly. On one side, you have the ideal, a nice, smooth, even lift, but on the other, you've got the huge warning sign. The door kind of hesitates, it jerks, or maybe one side starts to lift before the other, which creates this crooked, wobbly mess. If you see that happening, you're looking at a pretty significant problem.
And here's why that wobble is so critical. It almost always points to an issue with either the high-tension cables or the torsion springs. And those springs, they're the real powerhouse of the whole system. They are wound under absolutely extreme tension to balance out the door's incredible weight. If they're unbalanced or broken, the door becomes unbelievably heavy and unpredictable. And let me be crystal clear about this. This is not a weekend DIY project. Messing with high-tension springs is incredibly dangerous and should only ever be handled by a trained professional. Seriously.
This brings us to the third and probably the most definitive sign of all. A simple test that you can do yourself to check on the health of those super important springs. It's called the balance test.
So that brings us right into our second section, the homeowner balance test. This simple little procedure is the absolute best way to know for sure if your door spring system is working the way it's supposed to. It's a crucial safety check you can do in just a couple of minutes.
And the best part about this test is that it gives you an immediate, clear-cut answer about your door's health and, more importantly, its safety.
Okay, so here's how to do it safely. First, make sure the door is all the way down. Then, pull that red emergency release cord. You'll probably hear a click. That means you've disengaged the automatic opener. Second, carefully, and I mean carefully, lift the door by hand up to about your waist or chest, so roughly halfway up. Third, and this is the moment of truth, just let it go.
Now here's what you want to see. A perfectly balanced door, one where the springs are doing their job, should pretty much just hover in place. It might drift up or down an inch or two, and that's fine, but it should basically stay put.
But if you let go and that door slams back down to the ground, you failed the test.
And this is not a small problem. It means the springs are no longer doing their job of counteracting the door's weight. What you have now is a dangerously heavy wall of steel and wood that needs immediate professional help. This is a critical safety issue.
So if you've heard the noises, seen the wobble, or your door just failed the balance test, what's next? Well, the source material is really clear on what you should do. So what's the recommended solution? The source strongly advises calling in a professional, and the reasoning is pretty simple. An expert isn't just going to put a Band-Aid on the symptom, like, spraying some lubricant on a squeaky hinge. They're going to diagnose and fix the root cause. This makes sure the job is done right the first time, with safety as the #1 priority, preventing a much more dangerous failure down the road.
So if any of these warning signs sound a little too familiar, the source recommends not waiting. The best thing to do is to call an expert for a professional inspection and get it repaired. The number provided is 832-774-6406. I'll say that again. It's 832-774-6406.
All right, as we wrap this explainer up, I want to leave you with one final, super important thought that really puts all of this into perspective.
Your garage door is literally the single largest moving object in your entire home. A failure isn't just an inconvenience. It can be a really serious safety hazard for you, for your car, for your family. Paying attention to it isn't just about avoiding a squeak, it's about making sure you have peace of mind. So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about the next time you leave or come home. After everything we've talked about today, what is your garage door trying to tell you? Thanks for tuning in.